Hello and welcome to the lowest budget YouTube channel you will see in your life. I'm sat on a battered old vinyl box. To do that, it makes dodgy sounds and nothing strange is happening on the bed. It's just the vinyl box. And yeah, if I move that way, I bash my head. So I could end up with a headache after this episode because I moved quite a lot. But yeah, just a little bit of an introduction. I am a sports journalism student. I've always wanted to come on and speak about Leeds, but never really, well, not the confidence, but never been bothered to do it. And you know, I nearly did it after that QPR game, that 4-0, but I probably would have been taken off the app very, very fast if I did it after that. I was not a happy boy that day, put it that way. But yeah, with us going to Wembley on Sunday, I just thought, what better time to start than now? So yeah, I don't have a name for it yet. It might just end up being my own personal name, to be honest, because I can't, I'm not inventive enough. Anyone thinks of a good name, then please let me know. I've got a little NFL thing going on the other side as well, so if anyone's interested in that, please head over, watch a bit of that. So, anyway, enough of the shitty introductions out the way. That was easy, wasn't it? On Thursday, that was very, very easy, and I don't think any of us actually expected that. I mean, after the game at Carrow Road, I was quietly confident. I think they needed something from that game. You know, with us being so good at home, apart from the last two home games where it all went sort of wrong, you know, Blackburn and Sunderland. No, not Sunderland, Blackburn and Southampton, sorry. Well, and Sunderland, it went wrong against them as well. But yeah, it felt a bit easy. I mean, that game at Carrow was very cagey. The offside, I'm not too sure if it was. I've not actually watched it back because why would I? So yeah, I just think that was a very cagey game. As soon as it ended 0-0, you could see the reaction from both sets of players. Norwich looked a bit deflated. I mean, they looked happy with 0-0, but I think they sort of knew then we got to go to Ellen Road and we got to get something. And that didn't prove easy for anyone this season, really, bar them two teams. So yeah, after that, I just thought, you know, this could be it now. But we've seen it go tits up with Leeds before. You know, 1-0 up against Derby in that playoffs. Even went 2-0 up and still fucked it up. So I was never overly confident, but I had a small little bit of confidence. And I think a lot of Leeds fans did. And then obviously it was just really easy, wasn't it? And it felt strangely easy. I was always waiting for something to go wrong. Obviously, you know, Gruev scored the free kick. I mean, a midfielder scoring a free kick for Leeds is like fucking unheard of. So I was very, very shocked. But I still don't know if it was a great free kick or shit goalkeeping or a bit of both. And I've watched it that many times, like I imagine we probably all have. So yeah, I wasn't really, really positive about the game. At that time, when we went 1-0 up, I mean, it was only 6 minutes in, wasn't it? So I was just sort of sat there like, well, I wasn't sat, I was stood there like, what's going on? The atmosphere was really good, but I was just waiting for it to go wrong. And then Pirro scored that second one. What a ball from Nonto. A lot of people saying Gunn could have come and dealt with it. Maybe he could have, but that ball into, you know, that area where no one ever is, it was just a perfect ball, and Pirro got his head on the end of it. And fair play to Pirro. You know, 14 goals in a season where it's supposedly a shit season is proving a lot of people wrong. But yeah, then, you know, Sargent had that chance, and I think that would have been the turning point of the game, if I'm being honest. If he'd have scored that, then the horrible Derby flashbacks would have come back. Them fucking scarves there. You know, they were already giving me flashbacks, and if we would have made it 2-0 and 2-1, I'd have gone, shit, we all know what's happening here. Chance for Sargent once more. But Meslier, Meslier made a brilliant save at 2-1. You know, he's got a lot of doubters, and I am one of them, but it's a brilliant save, and the crowd reacted, you know, more better than I've seen us react to some goals this season. It was just, that was a turning point. And then the other two goals, they just absolutely capped it off. And it was, you know, no one sung Wembley until 4-0. Well, a few did around me, but I definitely didn't, because I just thought, shit, this could still go wrong. But it didn't, and it was a perfect day. Probably our best performance of the season, if you're asking me, barring Ipswich at home. I thought we played really well that day. And I was at Leicester away, and I thought that was really good as well. But yeah, I just think it was very, very comfortable. And, you know, if we played like that on Sunday, we could have... It's hard to say, you know, it's a one-off game. But if we play like that on Sunday, then we'll be hard to beat, put it that way. Anyway, speaking of Sunday, it's like the elephant in the room, isn't it? No one really wants to talk about it. And we're all very excited. I mean, I'm really excited. I've never seen us play at Wembley before in my life. You know, I'm only 19 years old. So the last time, like I said, I was very young. So, you know, it's just excitement at the minute, not even really nerves, just looking forward to the entire day. And, you know, it's just going to be a ridiculous, occasion sort of thing. And, you know, there's people obviously who've seen us play there before, not very well. But, yeah, I was very, very excited by the prospect of Wembley. I obviously got my ticket yesterday. if this goes out on Tuesday. It might not. I might not be bothered to put it out on Tuesday. But if it does, I got my ticket yesterday, and yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. But speaking of Southampton, that's where it worries me a little bit. You know, that game at Ellen Road, you could say our players' heads weren't in it. And I think they knew they'd fucked it up. That QPR game, that was it for me. I think we all knew it. And then when Ipswich went to Coventry and won, then I think everyone was just like, right, this is just a dead rubber. I mean, we was relying on Huddersfield. Obviously, they did it last time, but I don't think any of us had any sort of hope they were going to do it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a few drinks and I tricked myself into thinking they were going to do it. But yeah, they never did. And I think it was always a very flat game. And that was it, really. Like, there's not really much else you can speak about that one. The one in, was it September? Start of October down at St Mary's, that's a game you can look back on and go, right, this is a bit of a worry. I actually didn't watch that game, I was working. So I've recently got a different job, so I can go to all my games and I'm happy. But at that time I didn't watch the game, and I've not watched it back because, we got beat, so I just thought, fuck that. I'm not watching that one back. So I'm actually not that sure how they're going to play, really. The game at Ellen Road I don't remember much of because, the last game of the season before the real nerves, we just thought, right, let's just get on it. But yeah, I think it was just when we seen it was Southampton, I think we all knew it was going to be Southampton as well. West Brom, very, very similar approach to Norwich. Had to get something at the Hawthorns, didn't, and then, went down to Southampton. By all means, weren't the best, but had quite a few decent chances, which was, in my head, I'm just thinking, if we get them chances, will we score them? The ones they didn't. So, there's going to be chances, and I think Southampton are a dangerous side. Of course they are, because, they finished third, fourth, sorry, we finished third. And they got 87 points, which, usually probably promotes you. So, they're a dangerous side. That whole top four were a dangerous side, but, you look at the other two, we beat both of them, but Southampton obviously beat us twice. But a little bit of optimism for everyone. In the League 1 and League 2 playoffs, both the teams that ended up getting promoted had lost twice to that team earlier in the season, especially Oxford. They got beat 5-0 by Bolton, and then went on to do them 2-0 at Wembley on the weekend. So, it's a little bit of optimism for everyone. But yeah, I don't really know what to say about it, which isn't great when you're making a video on it. But, we'll see what happens. I mean, they play decent football, Southampton. I think that big pitch is going to benefit them more than it'll benefit us, to be honest. But, if we play like we do on Thursday, then who knows what could happen. A couple of other things I have seen today. Connor Roberts, apparently that's not going to be made permanent, which I'm not overly sad about. I mean, he's had, that game against Leicester when he came on and scored, that'll obviously always be his top moment in a Leeds United shirt. But, he's been riddled with little injuries at the wrong time. And, I almost feel quite sorry for him because he seems like a nice bloke. And his TikToks are a little bit questionable. But, they're entertaining, and that's the sort of man you want at your football club. Someone, who does connect with the fans. And I think he has had that since he's joined. So hopefully we can give him a good send-off. Obviously back to Burnley, we're back in the Championship. You can see why they want him back. Obviously we've got Cooper. Obviously, that's going to be the last game on Sunday. He might not play. I think the last time we'll see him in Leeds shirt was on Thursday night, unless the absolute dream happens and we're 4-0 up again. Then he might come on. But yeah, it'll be the perfect ending for him if he can send this team up at Wembley. And it's the best way to do it. I live in Nottingham, and all the Forest fans will tell you that day when they beat Huddersfield in the playoff final, with a few dodgy VAR calls, may I add, that was like just a ridiculous moment. And I think it is probably a better moment than going up automatically. So yeah, I mean, look, see what happens. If we can win it and give Cooper that send off, that'll be unbelievable. Because he's been the captain for as long as I can remember, really. Was the one before him Liam Brigcutt? No, they were. Christ, I know Brigcutt was captain for a little bit, but I'm pretty sure they were here at the same time. But yeah, throughout my whole childhood growing up, it was always Liam Cooper. When I was mascot at Bolton in many years ago, I'm actually going to put that picture on here now if I can, learn how to do that because my editing skills are shit. But when I was mascot back then, he was the captain, and now I'm 19 years old and he is still the club captain. He might not be playing as much, but what he's done for the club, obviously he's a Leeds fan, so yeah, I just want to give him that sort of send off that he does deserve. There'll be a few lads we might never see playing the shirt again. I think if we lose, that could be the end of Somerville. I think he'd be one that would leave because, well, I mean, he's too good for this league, really, isn't he? Ruter's a weird one. I think he'd stay, personally. I think his wages, obviously, are probably very high, but I do think he'd stay. I don't think he'd have many potential suitors, even though he has played very well this year. You know, people are going to look at goals, and they're going to go, oh, how many goals he got? Not that many. People haven't really watched him play. So, you know, I think he would stay. Nonto, I'm unsure on. But yeah, it's a massive occasion, and it's just something we all need to, I think, look forward to. Stop arguing over fucking ticket sales. Right, in fact, I'm going to have a quick word on that while I'm sat here waffling on. The club have done it, in my opinion, the fairest way. Obviously, I'm going to say that because, you know, I was in that 9 games attended. I mean, I was way over it because I was in the 14 for Norwich, but I was in that category for Wembley, so I was guaranteed a ticket. I think that's fair, personally. I know obviously people have got circumstances where they can't go to the game. That is fair enough. But, you know, this club are not that well known on rewarding the loyalty of the supporters when it comes to ticket sales. So to see them do something like that was actually a breath of fresh air for me. And, you know, they picked the minority over the majority in terms of making people happy. And, you know, it takes a lot of bollocks, to be honest. And obviously, you're never going to make everyone happy. People are upset about it. Obviously, you know, there's another phase tomorrow on Wednesday for people who have attended 5 or more games, and you'll still see people complaining. But yeah, I just think that they've done it the best way they could have, and we all just need to stop fucking arguing over it and just get behind the lads, because this is a massive game. You know, the Premier League, we've been there. It wasn't all it was made up to be, apart from that 1 year behind closed doors that we couldn't go and watch. But it's where you want to be. You know, them big games, the Man United, your Liverpools, them at Ellen Road. That's when the crowd really, really gets going. You know, it can be quite hard to get going against, you know, Plymouth on a Tuesday night, which we didn't actually have this year. Did we? No, that was the away game. I think it was on a Wednesday and in the FA Cup. So fuck that. It doesn't matter what I've just said. Neither does anything else I've just said, actually, for the last 12 minutes. But yeah, you know, they're the games you want to watch. You grew up dreaming of watching if you were in my sort of age group. So, you know, if we can do it on Sunday, I'd love to. Obviously, you know, that moment sticks with you forever. Whoever scores the winning goal, they never have to buy a drink in Leeds again. But yeah, you know what? We'll just have to wait and see. I've got a tiny small bit of confidence, but I don't really want to predict it. I might do another video within the week of a bit of more of a preview, because I was almost just sort of touching on it today as like a first video, just rambling on about nonsense, putting a feeder out, see how many people actually watch it. You know, if no one watches, I mean, I imagine no one's got this far, but if no one, you know, if no one's watching, then I'm not that bothered. It's just something for me to come on and speak about Leeds, really, and, you know, stick it on me CV for media stuff that I've done, because a lot of failed ones that I've done, actually. But yeah, you know, so thank you for watching if you've made it this far. I doubt anyone has. If you have, then fair fucks, thank you. Yeah, if you could just give it a like, because I know that pushes it out to more people. I'm not too sure really how YouTube works. I think it pushes it out to more people. Listen, everyone always says like and subscribe, so just, yeah, do that. And if you can think of a good name for me, that would be perfect. I might just stick with my own name for now. But if you can think of a good name, then please let me know. Send me a Twitter message or something like that. Comment it. Not bother how you do it. Just let me know, because I've got one in my mind, but I think it might already be being used by someone else. So yeah, it's I can't use that one. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate if anyone has got this far. I am going to look to do a few more videos. Hopefully progress, hopefully get a chair instead of this shit box I'm sat on. So YouTube, you could send me some money, that'd be grand. But yeah, you know, if you've enjoyed it, then please let me know, because that will just, you know, make me make more videos and stuff. Probably going to try and get another one out this week if I can be bothered to do that. If I can't, then, you know, I'll see you after Wembley. It could be a very depressing episode. It could be a great episode, you know. I might still be pissed from the Sunday, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and come on, Leeds.